This video is sponsored by Alset Ehome, whose mission it is to accelerate the advent of sustainable, healthy living systems around the world. Hi, welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 83. The Chinese are beating Ford, Rivian and Tesla to market with an EV pickup truck. And the Model Y is looking like a rocket taking off. And it's not looking so good for the old legacy automakers. And Volkswagen CEO is recognizing Tesla's lead in full self-driving. And the F150 Lightning is getting some more pre-orders. And SpaceX is doing it again, building something beyond imagination. All this and much more to come on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Sweden is really getting some momentum in the EV market share. The Swedish plug-in market share was 47.7% in August, beating petrol and diesel cars combined. Very nice. And the BEV market share was just over 24%. And France also had a 19.8% plug-in market share, and BEV was at 11.2%. Yes, the famous tipping point of innovative technologies. And the Model 3 took the #1 spot in France in August. But Norway had an EV market share of 71.9% in August. Nice. And the Model Y is of course the one sitting at the top. Even though it only had 7 days of deliveries, it still beat everything else in Norway in August that had been selling for the whole month. Just look at this chart where you can see Tesla sales shooting up like a rocket in Q3 as soon as more Teslas came to the country. The Tesla Model 3 is still sitting on 4th place, and it also came all the way from China and just arrived at the end of the month. So a very good month for Tesla in Norway. Can't wait to see how this quarter ends. Because as we can see, the first few days of September, Model Y and the Model 3 are number 1 and 2 in Norway. Very impressive. But it is not only Norway the Model Y is taking off. Tesla Model Ys are flooding Beijing's DMV awaiting registrations. And we saw some pictures from Hong Kong where a whole bunch of right-hand drive Model Y has been offloaded, getting ready to get to some lucky customers soon. And Robert from Fully Charged tweeted a picture of the first Tesla Model Y in the UK. Going to be so exciting to see how this car does for the rest of the year. But it is not looking so good for the old legacy automakers. GM has stopped its production of the Bolt until LG can confirm that there are no faulty battery cells. And GM will not change any of the old batteries before LG can confirm this, and they will not be producing anymore either. So this is not good. This recall is getting close to $2 billion in cost for GM. And the Bolt was the only other EV in the top 5 in the US than Tesla. And now they have all been recalled. GM's only EV on the market. This is not looking good for GM. I guess Matthew was a tiny bit off with his headline back in 2017. We just drove the all-electric Chevy Bolt and Tesla is officially in trouble. That didn't age well. The only one not in trouble in this top 10 list is Tesla. Just look at the lead. It's not even funny, especially when we now have to recall the list's number 3. Yeah, GM is officially in trouble. And so is Ford, that just informed employees that it would be extending the downtime for the nation's best-selling vehicle, the F150 pickup, and scaling down production of some of its largest, most profitable models because of an ongoing semiconductor shortage. Ouch. And Ford Motors' net profit margin as of June 30th, 2021 is 2.5%. And with long-term debt over $100 billion, well, let's see how long they can stay afloat. And it's not looking too good for the German automotive production as well. It did decline 16% in 2020, but now the German Association of the Automotive Industry is lowering its production forecast for 2021 by another 10%, from 4 million to 3.6 million. And Volkswagen in Germany is now offering the ID.3 and the ID.4 as a subscription model. The ID.4 is now 5 months into deliveries, and offering it already as a rental car will have a negative impact on the profit, and we already know those are not good and could be a sign of weak demand. And speaking of German automakers, BMW just said in a report that they will reduce carbon emission in their car life cycle by 40% by 2030. I don't really think that BMW understand that within the EU, they will not be allowed to sell any ICE cars beyond 2035, and no one will probably want to buy one after 2025, because EVs will become much cheaper, or definitely not after 2030. The lack of commitment to EVs from BMW is frightening, even though they don't mind talking about how their EVs are here to save the world in 30 years' time, because there are no planet B. But not sure which planet you are living on, BMW. But Tesla did just start delivering of the Model Y in Germany as well, and a German auto reviewer on YouTube called Autogefühl did make a great in-depth review of the car, and he could also say that its build quality was perfect, a very big step up from the first Tesla Model 3, and he did end up showing that he was standing in front of the new Tesla store in Dortmund. That was built in the old Porsche store. And the street he was standing on was the Ferdinand Porsche Street. And the street that actually leaves the area was called Gottlieb Daimler Street. And now it all leads up to the brand new Tesla store. Yeah, times are changing. One thing that the Volkswagen CEO is getting is that Tesla's lead in full self-driving is getting bigger. As he said about full self-driving, you're going to get a lot of convenience for relatively little money, which is why it's going to catch on quickly. Yes, exactly. And Tesla's lead is getting bigger because they already have 2 million data collectors on the road. Yes, exactly. No, not as Gordon Johnson said, they are only using simulators. No. Even Volkswagen CEO is recognizing Tesla's lead in full self-driving data gathering from the fleet. And Elon did tweet that the full self-driving beta version 10 should be out next Friday, and then in only 2 weeks out to even more users. And he wrote, "Looks promising. The beta 10.1 about 2 weeks later will be good enough for public option in request button." Oh, nice. And yes, NHTSA investigation of Tesla's full self-driving is continue, but as I said before, it doesn't matter. Tesla has all the data to show what exactly happened, but NHTSA wants it all. From the whole fleet, from the last 7 years. Damn, good luck digging through all that. But anyway, it's always the driver's responsibility, and just for context, there are over 16,000 crashes every single day in the US alone. And Americans are still allowed to drive. And Elon did talk about why pouch cell batteries, like GM is using in their cars, are not a good idea. The limiting factor tweeted about the debate about cell forms was stupid, and it all came down to different chemistry and different form factors, and Elon did generally agree, but probability of thermal runaway is dangerously high with large pouch cells. Tesla strongly recommend against their use. like the one GM and Ford are using from LG Chem. Twitter Tesla Facts joined the tweet and wrote, "So small reinforced pressure protected prismatic cell for iron-based cells are good and safe, and steel cylindrical cells for nickel and iron are the overall design sweet spot?" And Elon responded, "Yes, physics of large cells means distance from cooling loop to center of the cell is high, so hard to prevent hotspot. Then pressure and heat releases from large cells in weak bag makes it impossible to stop whole bag from burning." Pretty basic. Our new cell is 46mm in diameter with steel shell, and even that was a huge challenge for propagation resistance. So there you have it, guys. GM and Ford, just listen to Elon. Apparently it's pretty basic. And the Ford F150 Lightning is getting some more reservations. According to Mike Levine, the company's North American production communication director, the Lightning now has got 130,000 pre-orders since it was revealed back in May. Not bad. Not Cybertruck numbers, of course, that got 146,000 pre-orders in the first 24 hours. And today have 10 times more pre-orders than the Lightning. The Cybertruck has over 1.3 million pre-orders. And if the mix of the Cybertruck pre-orders is still as it was in the beginning, with mostly dual and tri motors and only about 20% being single motors, so if we say the average price here is about $60,000 per truck, Tesla has pre-orders for about $78 billion, where Ford has a pre-orders for maybe about $8 billion. And the crazy thing is that even after Ford doubling their production target for the Lightning, the last reservation holder for those 130,000 F-150 Lightning will first take delivery of their truck in 4 years from now, and will probably not buy any other truck before that. So I'm just gonna mention the little Osborne effect here again. And even though the Cybertruck has been pushed out to 2022 as well, I will bet that by 2023 Tesla will have fully ramped up the production of the Cybertruck and be spitting out something like 300,000 units per year, as Elon said they would be able to produce per year. And Ford will still struggle with their 55,000 units in 2023. If people can't see the problem here for Ford, I don't know what else will show it. Tesla has 10 times as many pre-orders for their electric pickup truck and will be able to produce 5 times as many in 2023. And even going out to 2025, the biggest number I have heard about the Lightning is 160,000 units per year. In 2025, where not many will buy the Ford ice truck anymore because they will all want the Lightning, the best F-150 Ford has ever made. And they will only be producing about 160,000 in 2025. And by that point, they would have only just haven't gotten through their pre-orders of 130,000. This is simply too slow. If Ford can't see this is not good enough, I'm afraid there will not be any Ford after 2025. And while we're waiting for Ford, Rivian and Tesla to come out with an EV pickup truck, well, the Chinese are beating them all to market. Yes, electric pickup trucks and vans are now available in some African markets. And just one example of such an EV pickup truck is the Chinese Dongfeng RIG 6 EV pickup with a 68 kWh battery with an NEDC range of around 400 kilometers. NEDC is for not even damn close. So it's probably more about 200 or 250 kilometers, but we'll be able to do DC fast charging up to 80% in 45 minutes, so nothing special in terms of specs, but more than most people probably need for an everyday use of that pickup truck. And with Solar Taxi now bringing these electric pickup trucks to Ghana, fleet operators in Ghana really need to seriously start looking into getting these EV pickups, because switching to electric is just a no-brainer, as fleet operators will benefit from much lower operating and fueling cost. And if fleet operators are going to buy these EV pickup trucks, it could vote well for the Cybertruck as well, because the Rig 6 is not a very cheap pickup truck. Its starting price in China is about $42,800, and it is a single motor, so the single motor Tesla Cybertruck will cost less and have much more range and much faster charging. So if the Chinese can get some success with their EV pickup in some African countries, maybe the Cybertruck is not too expensive for the African market after all, especially for some of these fleet operators. But so cool to see more EVs coming to Africa. And Tesla finally arrived at Alset Ehome in Texas. Yes, Tesla Energy has just arrived and have now put up their first solar panels and power wall in the first Alset Ehome in Houston, and is going to continue to put up solar panels and power walls and so on for the rest of the 30 homes Alset has already bought at the North Park Wood in Porter, Texas. That is all rented out already. So cool to see them getting all these technologies into the houses so they can start testing everything out and get the customers' feedback before they start building their big Alset Ehome community in Black Oak in Texas. So cool to see some progress from Alset Ehome on those 30 homes. And SpaceX is doing some crazy things again, because SpaceX installed the first megacellular arm on the Starship launch tower. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, here is a nice animation made by Eric X of what SpaceX will do. Yes, SpaceX is right now building this tower where they will be catching a rocket booster. This is just beyond imagination. This is going to beat seeing the two side boosters coming down together for the first time with the Super Heavy. This is just nuts. SpaceX is making science fiction real, but I don't think many had the imagination to even dream up this. Can't wait to see them attempt this. It's going to be absolutely mind-boggling. And French astronaut Thomas Pesquet captured spectacular photos of SpaceX Cargo Dragon capsule firing its thrusters while docking automatically with the ISS. So nice. And Blue Origin has hired former Amazon consultant linked to the Jetty contracting process. So Elon was of course again on Twitter. He should consider spending some money on actual lunar lander hardware instead of shady lobbyists. Couldn't agree more. Maybe then they would have a chance of winning a lunar landing contract in the future. And the Inspiration 4 mission, where SpaceX will launch these 4 civilian persons into orbit, has become a Netflix series. First episode is out tomorrow. I am definitely checking that one out. And they did also share some pictures of the Dragon's cupola, which is looking amazing and will provide the 4 crew members some insane view of Earth. That is going to be so cool. I'm so jealous. And they will be orbiting the Earth for 3 days before coming back. This is truly a historic mission. First ever all civilian mission orbiting the Earth, opening the first door to civilian space travel.
These people are you and me, and they will kick the doors open to space for the rest of us.
This is where we're going to live for 3 days.
Home sweet home.
So excited, and we are only 10 days from the first potential launch date, 15th of September. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. And Siemens is now making superchargers, the C-Charge D, that any supermarket, school, hospital, mall, town or whatever can buy and put up. That will offer up to 300 kilowatts of charging. Nice. And Volkswagen's ID.2 will cost about 24,000 and will come out in 2025, says Volkswagen. So 2 years after Tesla's $25,000 car. So it better be up to the task of competing on specs and performance of the compact Tesla that will have a 2-year head start. And the Teslas with cameras inside the cabin is now used to monitor the driver to make sure he's paying attention. So it knows where you're looking or if you're on your phone. And Tesla Raj made a video showing that it actually works and giving you a warning straight away if you're on your phone. Nice. Links to his video down below. And Tesla add more jobs to his list of jobs related to the humanoid robot. Also a job in Austin, Texas, related to production. Interesting. And we also got a look at the factory that Steel Dynamics are building in Texas that is going to provide the cold rolled stainless steel to the Cybertruck. Nice. And Elon did unfortunately tweet that the Roadster will be delayed from 2022 to 2023. I get it, it's the Roadster, it's just the icing on the cake, but still, I just can't wait to see this beast on the street and what it will do with these 10 rocket thrusters. And I now had some time with the new refreshed Tesla app, and it is very cool. I do think they have been looking a bit at Amtech's cool app with 3D renders of the car, because Tesla has gone on the render of the car. It looks really cool. When the car is moving, the wheels are turning, and even the air conditions show this cool effect of the airflow. And the app itself is much more responsive than before, especially between the app and the car. Nice. And we have some rumors about Tesla's 4680 cell being replicated by Stardot, who claims 10 minutes charging time. We still don't know what charging times Tesla will claim, but there have been speculations about 15 minutes from 10% to 80, but 10 minutes, that would be a very sharp charging time, so crossing my fingers they can make that and produce it at volume. And first trainees and students are welcomed at Giga Berlin by Minister Steinbach. Nice. And another old Tesla fire has been solved. The Tesla Model S that burned down on a frozen lake, the US Secret Service found that the owner Michael Gonzalez tricked Tesla's purchasing system. He ordered cars and had them delivered but never allowed the final payment. He then resold the vehicle to companies and individuals and burned this one down to the ground hoping for some insurance money. Now he might just be going to jail instead. And we did also hear some rumor about Tesla building its first Tesla superchargers in India. The units are now in India waiting for installation. And we also heard that Tesla get approval for all 4 models from India testing agencies. So a lot is going on in India and one more step towards Tesla coming to India. And Tesla had the Plaid Model S back at the Nürburgring racetrack. And Tesla has been working on some racetrack specific features for the Plaid, like the track mode we know from Performance Model 3. So it's going to be exciting to see what it will be able to do. And if you're wondering why is Tesla building a humanoid robot with artificial intelligence, wasn't that what Elon was afraid of? Well, Elon gave the answer on Twitter. I will not be able to ensure that robots made by other companies are safe, but I can try my best to do so at Tesla. And Elon Musk's disruptive companies provide 110,000 jobs. Yet, this is just the beginning. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my news patrons and members of this news show. Gary von Nostran, Michael Bergen, Bill, Carl Fitzgerald Sloman. And my thank you for watching, members: Maya's World, Mberta74, Donald Chaikoin, David Heat, and Akisoyi Otoilu. Yeah, I got no idea how to say your name. Akisoyi Otoilu. And my Be Nice and You Are member, Curry Pride. And my 2 best in Tesla superheroes, Bobby Freeman and Stephen Ross. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. We have been talking a lot about the legacy automakers, so I thought it would be kind of fun to show this little tweet I found on Twitter about the founders of the legacy automakers. Ford. We are proudly founded by Henry Ford. Toyota. Our founder was the visionary Keishiro Toyota. Volkswagen be like, uh-oh. That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to donation options in the show notes. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only, so don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.